In the annals of history, there are tales that defy convention, stories that weave a tapestry of eccentricity and charisma. One such tale begins on September 17th, 1859, when a man named Joshua A. Norton faced financial ruin after a failed attempt to corner the rice market in San Francisco. Norton, a successful businessman to date, lost a huge amount of money by trying to control the rice market in San Francisco by buying all the rice he could find. This didn't work because ships came with more rice. After years of increasing poverty amidst the rising tension of the impending Civil War, Joshua Norton seems to have snapped, at least in one key respect. He declared that he was the Emperor of the United States, and within a year or so he added the title of Protector of Mexico. The most often repeated stories about Emperor Norton are about how San Franciscans accepted his self-designated status and allowed him to eat anywhere without paying, to receive free clothes from the city, and to be given preferential seating at stage and musical openings. For many years, Norton ate at various bars where full meals were provided to drinking patrons. For example, Martin and Horton's, where a brandy smash cost a quarter and a free meal was included, with soup, boiled salmon, roast beef, bread and butter, potatoes, tomatoes, crackers and cheese. But there are few known cases of the Emperor indulging in a restaurant meal at all, let alone without paying. The city's Board of Supervisors was petitioned for a suit of imperial clothes, but ignored his entreaty. In fact, Norton generally went about in shabby second-hand uniforms, both of Union and Confederate colours. He thought it best to maintain his neutrality so as to be able to help mediate a settlement. Perhaps equal parts genius provocateur and mentally unwell, Joshua Abraham Norton reinvented himself from a failed businessman into an outlandish yet popularly accepted imperial figure commanding the streets of San Francisco. Rather than using the stage as his vehicle, Norton simply presented himself in public as royalty at all times, responding to a widespread corruption in general and the atrocities of the Civil War in particular. Norton issued a mandate in 1862 ordering both the Roman Catholic Church and Protestant churches to publicly ordain him as emperor. Emperor Norton I, a man of boundless imagination, issued decrees that captivated the public imagination. On February 1st, 1860, he summoned representatives from states to Platt's Music Hall to address the nation's woes. By July 16, 1860, he had dissolved the United States of America, and on October 1st, 1860, barred Congress from meeting in Washington, D.C. His eccentric reign continued with the relocation of his National Convention to Assembly Hall, Poston Kearny, after Platt's Music Hall burned down on February 5th, 1861. A new theatre, Tucker's Hall, opened its doors on September 17th, 1861, with a performance titled Norton I, or An Emperor for a Day, celebrating the whimsical ruler. A frequent inspector of city affairs, one of his more memorable city inspections happened during an anti-Chinese riot that frequented the poorer districts of San Francisco at this time. During one of those anti-Chinese demonstrations, Norton placed himself between the rioters and the Chinese designated for imminent violence. He then bowed his head and recited the Lord's Prayer until the rioters left without hurting anyone. The Emperor's life took unexpected turns. On February the 14th, 1864, Norton I journeyed to Marysville to join the celebration of the opening of the railroad. Mark Twain immortalized him as the King in his novel The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. However, even emperors are not immune to the challenges of reality. On January the 21st, 1867, Patrol Special Officer Armand Barbier, perhaps overzealous, arrested Emperor Norton I for involuntary treatment of a mental disorder, sparking a major civic uproar. Police Chief Patrick Crowley issued a public apology, and from then on, all police officers saluted the passing emperor. The emperor's influence reached beyond mere eccentricities. On July the 25th, 1869, a decree urged San Franciscans to advance money for Frederick Marriott's airship experiments, and on August the 12th, 1869, he dissolved the Democratic and Republican parties, citing party strife. The year 1869 saw Emperor Norton I leaving San Francisco to seek his yearly tribute from the legislature. He inspected the new capital during a gala ball, but not without issuing a decree demanding Sacramento clean its muddy streets and install gas lights. By August the 1st, 1870, Emperor Norton I, the occupant of 624 Commercial Street, was listed by the census taker as an emperor. His demands continued, including an order on September 21st, 1870, for the Grand Hotel to furnish him rooms under penalty of banishment. As the emperor's visions expanded, so did his conflicts with local authorities. On March 23, 1872, Norton I declared the necessity of a suspension bridge between Oakland Point and Goat Island, and then on to San Francisco. He ordered a survey to determine the best means of connection, even going so far as to order the arrest of the Board of Supervisors for ignoring his decrees. On January 2nd, 1873, a decree called for a worldwide Bible convention in San Francisco. Meanwhile, on March 18th of the same year, David Belasco made his stage debut at the Metropolitan Theatre, portraying none other than Emperor Norton in the play The Gold Demon. The life of Emperor Norton I reached its poignant conclusion on January 8th, 1880, as he dropped dead on California Street at Grant Avenue. The Morning Call's headline on January 9th, 1880 read, "Norton I, by the grace of God Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico, departed this life." The city mourned, and on January 10th, 1880, Emperor Norton I was buried at Masonic Cemetery. The funeral cortege, 2 miles long, drew 10,000 people. His eccentric reign may be a thing of the past, but the spirit of Emperor Norton I lives on in the heart of San Francisco, a testament to the enduring power of individuality and the human spirit. Norton's mental state didn't deter his creative mind from addressing itself to several technical issues of the day. During his reign, Andrew Halliday invented the cable car, and Norton I issued an edict urging improved safety mechanisms for the newfangled technology, in particular a better system of gripping the underground cable than the large screw with which it began. As mentioned previously, Norton is also known for having been the first to propose a bay bridge and an under-the-bay tunnel. His decree in the Pacific Appeal of March 23, 1872 read, "The following is decreed in order to be carried into execution as soon as convenient. 1. That a suspension bridge be built from Oakland Point to Goat Island and thence to Telegraph Hill, provided such bridge can be built without injury to the navigable waters of the Bay of San Francisco, to which we now know the world over as the Golden Gate Bridge." What is perhaps the most enduring aspect of Emperor Norton is that despite enormous hardship and toil, Norton truly wanted the best for people. His decrees spoke to safety and unity, and the way in which the community of San Francisco accepted him and elevated him is testament to humankind's desire for progress and betterment. If you enjoy history, fashion, culture and more with a twist of ASMR, please consider subscribing to The English Gentleman.